because our comrade Haki Shakur is in the house today. Yeah, I appreciate you taking this time out of your busy schedule to kick it with us for a little while, man. Cause I know, man, I be seeing you online. You be somewhere everywhere. You be putting in that work, educating people, doing the work, and I appreciate that. So first of all, I want to say thank you uh, for what you do. So, cause I know my introduction didn't do you justice. I just gave a little bit about what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because on that bio, it was like a whole bunch of stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a brother an opportunity to let the people know exactly what you do yourself. So tell the people exactly who you are and what do you do.
Yeah. First of all, let me thank you for bringing me on your platform. I've been following your platform for a while, so I truly appreciate it. Far as me, well, I'm in Virginia, Gabriel Prosserville district of the New African Population District. A little bit of what I do is just, first I would say, I came into this movement, what I'm saying, doing work with political prisoners. That's what really, really just brought me into the movement, period, was, just getting with political prisoners because those elders, they embraced me and brought me into the movement. So I definitely have to shout out them first because they the ones that really brought me into this movement, New African political prisoners. So, I started off with them, in the late 90s, early 2000s,
Okay.
following the Jericho movement and things of that nature and getting involved with Jericho movement and assisting some of those elders. That's how I got into this in the first place. But the work I was doing at first that coincides with that is like I just was a researcher. I was an advocate researcher, what I'm saying, reading and things of that nature and just like dealing with my own transformation and trying to figure out life, and figure this thing out and see where I wanted to go in life, that transformation, from the things, dealing with, these social conditions here in Virginia and Richmond. I became an advocate researcher of history. And so that history research is what I'm really, 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 that's what I do my work in is really that
Right.
research. And just been a student and a historian and things of that nature. And so I coincide the two things together, my work with political prisoners, along with the historian work, and putting those two things in the same melting pot. And this is what you got, a new African historian, a new African revolutionary nationalist, and things of that nature. So that's a little bit of what I do.
Dig that. Now, okay, you talked about your transformation.
Right.
And that's something I kind of like. I like to ask everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because we all kind of got here different ways, but we all here, which is the important thing. So, kind of like, what's the thing that kind of sparked you to start thinking differently? I don't know what your background is. Like, I started out as just a regular old Christian, just whatever, and some went boom and said, "Wait, something wrong." You know what I'm saying? So, what's your story on that?
I just get straight to the point. The thing that really, like sparked my consciousness and things of that nature was the social conditions I came from. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like the concrete jungle, the residue that I come out of, like just seeing the everyday social conditions of Black people here in Richmond, Virginia, and my everyday daily life, and one of the most important things that happened in my life was my brother being murdered in the streets.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
dang.
Just coming up in that street element of
Yeah.
gang banging, street politics, street tribes, street organizations, and things like that. Seeing that whole social conditions that was going on in our community and the genocide is what really sparked my mentality to be like, nah, this can't be right. So that just sparked my mind to be like, I wanted to understand why new African Black people were going through these type of things, and the people in my age group, why were we being murdered? Why were we killing each other? Why were we doing these horrific things to each other? Is what sparked my mind to be like, nah, this can't be why we on this planet. This can't be my birthright. This can't be my destiny. So the murder of my older brother and a couple of other friends from my neighborhood is what made me go in the other direction. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew and I understood eventually I was going to either be in prison or the graveyard. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I had, a couple of things that have been going on in my life. I've been attacked in the street life and all those type of things. A lot of people wonder where the scar come from. That's where it comes from, things like that. So, you know, I really did it for my brother, and I really did it for my friends, and I did it for my mother to, you know, to change myself and transform myself and things of that nature.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's the inspiring story. I appreciate you sharing that. A lot of brothers need to hear that because a lot of people are in that same condition, but they ain't, saw the light means to get out of that. So like within your analysis, in your study, and your research about our current condition, our current situations, what's in your opinion or your analysis of why the conditions of the street and that hood life and that self-destructive element within our culture exists? How did that come about, and why does it exist?
I mean, like I always tell people, you gotta. It's just like, like in the con people with the symbol of the bird, Sankofa.
Yeah.
I always tell young brothers, and I always try to tell our people, like, in order to understand your today, you have to understand your past. Because if you don't understand your past, there's no way you can understand your conditions that's going on right now. So I first tell brothers and sisters, like, you got to go back to see how we got into this by the foundations of this country, this settler nation. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't go back and go through that process and understand how we got here, there's no way you can understand the street life, the street conditions, our communities, and things of that nature. So I always tell brothers and sisters, we know our story starts before slavery. We get that point.
Yeah.
But in order to understand the concrete conditions now, you have to start with slavery, with the beginning of the settler nation, in order to understand us now. Because don't get me wrong, we need all that history from Africa. We need all those type of things that happened before what happened on this land. I get that, but you have to study, extensive on the conditions and the enslavement of your ancestors in order to understand where this street culture and all these type of things come from, which is our oppression. Simple as that. Our oppression. We've been enslaved. We've been genocide. We've been murdered. We've been forced into conditions due to, the economic, impact from the capitalist system of slavery. So it's like, it's a whole chronology and a process that you got to go through to understand the street conditions and why we turned out this way and why we still in this position. Matter of fact, why we still, because brothers and sisters still see the street life and things of that nature as attractive because they don't have nothing else to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? They go to that because of love. They need the love. You see what I'm saying? They go to the wrong, put like this, they go to the wrong places searching for love. You see what I'm saying? Which they should be getting from their community in different ways. But, these third world conditions are a result of this capitalist system.
You mentioned Sankofa. Look back, you know what I'm saying? Find out where you came from. Appreciate you bringing that up. And with that, because like it's a lot of laws being passed right now, especially like in Florida, with the government in Florida, where they really making it illegal to study our history. Basically, they're making laws, putting laws that basically say anything to make white people feel bad, we can't study it.
Right.
Which, in my opinion, is bullshit. What's your thoughts on that?
I just look at that as another part of the colonial education system, which we know is the school to prison system, period. So, that's just another mechanism that they're going to use to try to keep you, from finding out what really happened to your ancestors and what's happening to you right now. So, this is just a part of their colonial education system that, that is hell bent on destroying us mentally, which we all know that's menticide, what I'm saying, when we've been educated by our oppressors. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I just look at it as another strategy of war, another strategy and mechanism to keep you from, finding out who you truly are. And the first place they're going to do that is they're always going to attack the mind first. Because if you attack the mind first, the body easy to conquer. So at the end of the day, they have always attacked us through the education system, period. That's how they indoctrinated us all in the first place, was through the education system. So you already know they're going to attack that and try to suppress that and try to control that in order to control oppressed people, period. and to control new African people, period, is through the education system, which is nothing but a one-way ticket to the penitentiary.